The number one thing I would say to someone about to sign their first record deal is make sure you take it to a very, very, very good solicitor. So many people I know have just, money, they need the money, and they just sign it away, and they're not really finding out the facts, about the deal that they're signing. They're not finding out what they're obligated to do. Once your name is on that piece of paper, once your signature's there, legally you have to do whatever that contract requires you to do, and that could be anything. A lot of contracts are written in a certain language that the average person is not going to understand. It takes a solicitor to read through it and change points to benefit you and stuff like that. So solicitor, that's number one.
Recording contracts vary greatly. However, the basic principles are that record companies will seek to secure your exclusive recording services in return for paying you in advance, and for developing your recordings by paying for recording costs, engaging producers, marketing and promoting. For each sale that's made, the record company will then pay the artist a royalty. Points are simply percentage points, and those percentage points indicate the royalty that's payable to the artist. And that royalty will often vary depending on the relevant artist, and it can go between 16 to 22%. From that royalty, a certain amount of the costs that the record company incur will be recovered. That's called recoupability. Generally, the costs that are recoupable are recording costs, advances, a percentage of video costs, and television advertising costs. But of course, again, everything's always negotiable.
Yeah, we've both been involved in numerous record deals, and from these experiences we learned that don't sign on the line immediately. You read the smallest print. Yeah, and but also it's a case of the biggest deal is not always the best.
Yeah, that's definitely it.
Yeah.
Don't go for the most money.
Check the small print, check they put the extra O on the end. Nah, so when there's someone signing their deal, I don't know, there's no advice you can give except be prepared. Be prepared for what's about to happen, because, I don't know, it can go either two ways. Like, it can blow up and you can have a lot more, and be open-minded. There's a lot of opportunities, and don't see that as the beat, like I signed my deal now, I've made it. That's just the first stepping stone. Like, I want to do loads of things in life, innit? Not just one album.
There is no such thing as an average recording contract. Some can take 3 days to negotiate, and some unfortunately can take 3 years. I would say that the more competitive the deal is, the quicker the record companies seek to finalise the negotiations. On average, I would perhaps say 4 to 6 weeks.
If you're going to sign a record deal, I would say just think about the long terms and what you're really getting yourself into. Because once you sign that piece of paper, you're more or less owned, basically. Like, they kind of own you, and you're a product, and you're there to make money, and that's what people need to understand. You have to make the company money.
My advice for an artist who's about to sign their first deal is nobody's waiting for your first record, and signing that contract is the easiest thing that you're going to do in your career from now onwards. It's all hard work from now. And any artist that believes that once they sign the deal, it's done, is living in another world.
I would say, if you're going to sign your record deal, don't even sign it if you ain't 100% sure of what you are and what you're going to be. Don't even make that mistake. The deal will come back around and you will get another chance later on down the line.
I don't think once you've been signed, like, you've made it and your dreams are going to come true, because that's just like the beginning.
You haven't done even half of the work yet.
I mean, the experience of signing the first record deal was like a blur. I don't even remember what happened.
Yeah, I don't remember. I mean, it sort of just come and they sort of said, well, it was, to us, obviously, it was the figure. At the time, little did we know then, we just had this figure in our head that we knew they was going to give us.
I mean, £8.
Yeah, so it was like, where do we sign, basically?
So
that's how it was at that time.
Usual thing, you're going in, a couple of fat blokes, cigar smoke.
You're the best thing that they've ever seen and whatnot, and they're going to do this and they're going to do that and they're going to do this.
And then
and this didn't happen and that don't happen and not a lot happens.
Yeah, then 12 months down the line, you're still thinking.
All what was promised, but you still got they still got to give you your money.
Research before basically the bottom line of that is research your deal before going into it.
The most money deal ain't always the best money deal, the best deal, isn't it?
Yeah, but my old though still.
Yeah.
After I signed my deal, like up till now, from when I signed my deal, like I've learned a hell of a lot about the music and the music industry. I only knew a little bit before, but you learn as you go along. But it didn't really feel like anything when I signed my deal. I didn't have nothing to do. I was just doing the same things, going studio and all of that. Now it's just picking up, getting busy and that. But yeah, just really be careful who you sign with and don't sign with no one that wants to change you for what you do, and don't think that you have to sign and get a deal. Like sometimes it's best for the artist to do their own thing independently. You get me? You might as well try your best to sell 10,000 records on the underground rather than 50,000 with a label. It's not really that, I think. But yeah, that's the only thing advice I would give.
Because I've been through them deals, I know that it is now right for me to try and step in my own shoes, set up my own situation, and gamble with my money. Like, they gamble with their money, they put it into an artist, see if it works, it might work, if it works, if it doesn't, it doesn't. Dropped, lost money, sorry, whatever, sympathy. Artists might die out, artists might not die out, but I've got the drive not to die out, and so I've realised that me and the label, the reason why we don't work is because I've got the vision and power that the label has got. Potentially I've got it inside me, and if I had a team of people, I know I could succeed. The label, when I see things going on the label, I think, Jesus Christ, I've been doing this all these years. I've been doing this all this, like, on the radio, promote my record, to the street, sell the record, like, and I see the pattern and I think, but they do it on such a massive scale that I can't compete. And they've got lots of money, and obviously I'm not gonna throw all my money because I'm not prepared to gamble my money. But what I have to do is get in the position that I can at least do a 50-50 venture, so I'm earning more.
There was so many reasons that made me choose to go down an independent road. I mean, I couldn't even give them all to you in the time and space we got here, but just to start with, I mean, financially, from a business perspective, if you sell 50,000 albums on a major label, you're gonna get dropped. If I sell 50,000 albums, hey, I'm gonna make some money. Maybe not much, but I'm gonna make some. And like, so there was that side. There was also, I don't feel like any of the major labels in this country really understand black music, to be totally honest. I mean, my sister's been very fortunate in that Polydale pretty much just let her get on with it, really. And without that happening, I don't think she would have been as successful as she has. I don't particularly think that me being on a major label, they're gonna let me just do whatever I want. And because I'm a control freak anyway, and I've only got 4 or 5, 6 people that I trust with my vision as much as I trust myself, anyone outside that really has to prove themselves. There's no point in them even working for us because we'll just be looking over their shoulder. So we just decided to do it ourselves because that's the best way monetarily, control, and the only way I'd forego this amount of control would have to be for a ridiculous amount of money, and no major label is going to offer me that ridiculous amount of money for me to be willing to compromise. And even then, I'd still want my vision to be communicated. So we just did it ourselves, but it is very, very difficult.
So I was a young kid, so signing a record deal was just like, oh my God, we made it. Like, oh my God, we didn't really know. All we knew was just we just signing a label record deal, and like, yeah, we made it. We're stars now, so we didn't really know what we was getting ourselves into, really. So we just went in kind of blind. So it was like, all right, and we were so successful so quick. So we didn't really see, like, we didn't really, like, I don't know if this is the right way to say it, but appreciate it as much as we would have if we would have grafted longer and harder. Because there's people out there who's been grafting in the music game for years and years and ain't even got a top 40. But we just made this one song and it just went to number 8 straight away. So I was like, "Raw, this is easy." So we really took it for granted. We were just like, "Oh, yeah, we done it, number 8, whatever." You know what I mean? And then I think one time, I think it was maybe a few weeks after the song got released, I said to myself, "Hold on, what's next?" And it was like things started dying down. Less PA started coming. I could see the thing just going down and down and down. I was like, hold on, what's next now? The album was coming, and then was like, we need to get a next single. But we didn't even think, like, it was just like, oh, it was living for the moment. So that was a learning experience now. So it's all about following up, and that whole experience now, I think that experience made me do what I'm doing now. Because it's like, just the whole. I think now you got to have more of a business mind. Like you got to have talent, but you got to have more of a business mind, like to succeed in this game. And I think I got a degree in that whole experience. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing, and I've got an independent kind of knowledge, and just on that kind of tip of, if you don't do it yourself, no one ain't gonna do it for you. You know what I mean? And I think that's the best way to have it. You know what I mean? Really, if someone else is like helping you, to see it as that. I don't think like because you got a deal, you can sit down on your ass and no man, like I'm got an album coming out. I'm still putting out white labels and still doing whatever. You know what I mean? So it's all about just keeping grafting straight up.
Where an artist is about to sign a record or a publishing deal, ideally they would involve, obviously in the first instance, a lawyer, which is a must, but then ideally they would involve an accountant as well, because there are a number of structural points about planning that may be useful as to which kind of vehicle they're going to trade through, what are the tax implications of that, and actually within the contract itself there may be some useful tax planning points that you could build in. I would also say that there are a number of accountants who are specialists in royalty matters, and indeed that's one of our firm's specialities, and I would say that for bigger deals or renegotiations, that you'd want an accountant sitting in there to assess the impact of royalty changes within the contract. It can be a useful negotiating tool to actually know the value of what you're giving up or gaining on royalty points in a contract, or some of the movements in the royalty terms if you're going to bring them in or take them out.
What I would say, in my experience, to anyone that's just signed a deal and is gonna suddenly meet, all these people within the label that do all the different jobs for them. In my experience, like the first time round, like I said, I was kind of neither here nor there. I was like, okay, if I make a good album, I'll make a good album. If I don't, I ain't lost nothing. And because of that, I was definitely quite lazy. And whatever I could get out of doing, I didn't do. Whatever jobs I could just let my managers do, I would just. Whereas now I feel like the key is being hands-on. The key is talking to that person who is giving you video budgets and actually thinking of the concepts for your videos, the person who's doing your marketing, your A&R people, etc., etc. All these people that are part of what you're doing. I feel like the key is to, not like you have to get to know them where you're chilling with each other, but get to know them on a professional level where they understand you and you understand them. I feel like that would cut out a lot of misunderstanding. Having a middle person there, things can be misinterpreted sometimes. At the end of the day, if you're just dealing with A and B, you both know. You know where you're at, you know what's going on. So a lot of people would probably tend to shy away from meeting all these people and just dealing with it because it seems like a headache. But in the long run, it's a lot less headache than having to go over things 10 times because you said to someone this and they said that, and by the time it got to the person that actually deals with it, it's a whole different thing. And basically meet everyone, get to know them, let them know what you're about, let them know what you want, compromise, just make a great team with them, make a great team with everybody, because that's going to be your strength in the long run.
Well, you've met the A&Rs, chosen a label, the deal's been negotiated, the contract's signed. Let's go meet the rest of your new team.